Well, hello and welcome. Very funny that first time back in a month, get a phone calls right as I'm trying to go live. Apologize, I've been out for a month. You can kind of see that I may not be 100%. So some of you know what happened is I'm down. Just while I was at work, about 3-4 weeks ago, I had a detached retina, and that was fun and exciting. The doctor almost was able to get it to go back without surgery, but I've had surgery, and man, exciting. I do not suggest that any of you go through eye surgery, not unless you have to, because it is it's. I would have rather have broken my hand and had to have reconstructive surgery. So, without further ado, I am your. Well, yeah, he is Nunzi. I'm trying to tell him who I am. I'm your friendly RPG librarian, and we're here at Alexandria RPG. What are we? We're a non-profit role-playing game library. We travel to events all throughout North America. In fact, there was a small section of the library that was at GalaxyCon in Columbus this weekend, and a large section of the library with a bunch of volunteers running games at PAX Unplugged this weekend. But because of this, I couldn't travel. Up until today, I was not allowed to go over 2,000 feet. So, this has been fun and exciting. So let's get into news, and then at the end of news, we have some books to show off. Some cool things have come in, and I'm kind of excited. So let's see what we have. So, the post office has announced a set of new stamps, which they do every year. And because next year is the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, they're doing a set of Dungeons and Dragon stamps, which are really cool. You have the awesome red box cover by Larry Elmore. You have the 5th ed cover. I mean, just these are some really. I wish we had better. Wish I could click on them and get better looks. But yeah, it's the 50th anniversary, and a paint of 20 stamps features 10 different designs that highlight characters, creatures, and encounters familiar to players of the game. And the post office actually worked with WotC to select everything they did. They're from the 10 that they're the 10 designs. Does look like there's a lot more modern art, which I would have rather seen a lot more of the classic art from over the years. I mean, to be honest, the AD&D First Ed cover, the red box cover is awesome, but I would have liked to have seen a broader spectrum of representing the 50 years versus, because the red box came out in 84, so we have nothing representing the first 10 years. And then it doesn't look like there's too much until more modern times. So we have kind of just one thing for the old stuff and all new stuff. So, but it is awesome. I love that the post office is getting behind this. It's really cool when they do these commemorative stamps, and I'll probably pick up at least one set. Might pick up a second set, or a few sets, just so that I can use them to mail when we mail official stuff from the library. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay. Roll20, they've been really cool to us. We have multiple Roll20 premium accounts that Roll20 has given us. They don't have a whole lot of product in them, but they all the premium stuff is unlocked. We're trying to get companies to unlock books for us, which would be awesome. But they're announcing Jumpgate, our modern overhaul of Roll20 virtual tabletop. So I just learned about this, even though this announcement was the other day. I kind of not been keeping up with a whole lot. It's the AI is doing okay, but super excited to look through this because I want to see what things have changed. So I'm just going to read their announcement. So from Riley Dutton, founder in residence. Today I'm pleased to announce Roll20 Jumpgate, which is our exciting plan to modernize... Hey, why don't I bring my mic in front of my face? There we go. You should have been hearing me, but you would have been hearing me off to my ear. Let's see. Roll20 has been helping bring your virtual tabletop table together worldwide since 2012. Wow, they've been around for over a decade. And in that time, we've continued to iterate and develop to improve the platform based upon your feedback. As you might imagine, more than a decade is quite a long time when it comes to software. We've seen multiple major versions of Windows and Mac, the rise of tablet devices in our everyday lives, and multiple editions of our favorite tabletop RPG during that time span. And while we're proud we're proud of our role in helping keep your group playing throughout that time, we also recognize that there is some underlying technical issues that we'd like to address and make sure that we're here to support you for the decades ahead. What is Roll20 Jumpgate? Jumpgate is the name of our overall project to deliver to you the largest overhaul and modernization of our VTT platform since we started. It's major reworking of the lowest level of the engine code that powers our VTT, as well as an opportunity for us to bring together all the recent strides we've made with our new UI redesign efforts. So I wonder if this, because they merged with One Bookshelf, which is the parent company of Drive-Thru RPG, and they said that they were going to try to get all the Drive-Thru RPG stuff available in Roll20. So I'm guessing that this is kind of a part of that, which I hope. Let's see. Bottom line, it means faster, more performant VTT with a beautiful modern interface built on top of the latest web technology that will last us well into the future. Engine Mark II will be diving more into the technical details as we are working on in future posts in this blog series. But generally speaking, we're going into the foundational parts of the VTT to clean them up and replace them with newer, more performant pieces. As example, Roll20 currently utilizes an older rendering engine that was created more than a decade ago and was designed for web browsers as they existed at the time, relying in many cases on software rendering with some web GL sprinkled on top for things like dynamic lighting. So, this is actually a lot of good news. So, looks like we're going to have. We're going to find out tomorrow what it's going to be like because, we're going to be playing tomorrow. We've got a bunch of people that have jumped in, said that they're down for playing tomorrow. So we will get to look at this more tomorrow. I'm actually pretty excited. Pardon me. Water. Okay. Find this next one. So, after 35 years, Shadowrun First Edition is coming back to print. So, Catalyst Games is doing a reprint of First Edition. So, I played First Edition when it first came out. And I will tell you that it was a broken mess with so many issues you can't even imagine. But they accidentally created an amazing world because they were at the last minute. At the last minute, they were trying to make it not just another generic cyberpunk system. And they ended up creating an awesome world because of it, but they made a mess of a system. Second edition Shadowrun came out 18 months after First Edition did. And if you know anything about releases on games, that's not very long. Basically, as soon as that book went to the printer, they just jumped in and started fixing everything that they could. So I find this interesting. I'll have to get a hold of some people at Catalyst and see if we can get a copy when they put it back in print. Monty Cook has a new game coming. This is based upon their cipher system. So it's called The Weird. Thousands and thousands of amazing ideas for any game, for every game. You've already got dragons and magic spells and alien planets and werewolves and superheroes in your game. Why would you need it to be any weirder? Because when you get down to it, that is what is weird other than the new and interesting, and who doesn't want their stories and characters to be more interesting? Dragons and alien planets, and well, we've seen them all before. Sure, but you can still make them compelling and or create a gripping story around them. But do you do that? You're probably going to add something new and interesting. You're going to make them, in some respect, weird. So the weird contains more than 100 lists of ideas, each with over 100 entries long. That's over 10,000, more like 12,000, mind-bending bursts of inspiration. The lists are organized by genre, so you can easily reference those best suited for your game, whether it's science fiction, horror, fantasy, or whatever. Use them during game prep or on the fly to build great characters, encounters, or campaigns. Say PCs just wandered into a bar, and you don't want to be like, well, every other bar or tavern. Flip to one of the weird NPC lists and make the owner or patron really unique, or run with any of the following. Hanging above the restroom door is something from the weird unexpected object list, like a human skull made of blue bone, dual candle shaped like two halves, or something like two halves of different people's heads, or a taxidermied cuttlefish for impressive size. So this is I love stuff like this. So it's $55, and I really enjoy when companies make cool stuff that can make just GMing a little easier and make the game a little, a little more memorable. Artel Sorian. So Cody Pondsmith is, while The Witcher's on hiatus because as the next Witcher video game is being worked on, Artel Sorian and CD Projekt Red have agreed that they're not going to release anything for the Witcher tabletop RPG. And that's mostly so that they don't end up doing, a final season of Game of Thrones, because they want to make sure that the tabletop RPG stays in line with the world that the video game is continuing to build out. So, in that particular gap, Cody Pondsmith has sat down and he's been creating Blue Moon. So, hello there, everyone. We at Artel Sorian Games are done preparing for PAX Unplugged, which was this last weekend, and want to bring you a look at the project Blue Moon, designed by Cody Pondsmith. One more time. For those attending the convention, stop by, as much more is going to be revealed in person. So some of the people with the library stopped by and said it looks really cool, but I couldn't be there, so they're just up the road. I'm going to have to call them up and say, hey, I want to come check it out. But as we've said before, Blue Moon is not the true name of our upcoming game, so keep that in mind. As in this month's peak, the moon is much closer than you would think. Some pretty cool artwork there. The Last Ark Refuge. They call it the Selene Project, a tremendous space station orbiting the moon. It was built to save humanity from nuclear annihilation, but it inadvertently saved them from extinction when the enemy came to their world. Only a few million people are left now, trapped in an aging space station and an unfinished lunar colony. They already sacrificed so much to keep their new home from becoming their tomb, but now they have to decide. Should they work to reclaim their fallen planet despite the insurmountable odds, or do they risk the very existence of humanity and set out into space to find a new habitable world with no promises of success? I like where this is going. Kind of cool. A dying moon colony that has to figure out what they're going to do to save humanity. Let's see. New virtual tabletop software, Conclave Virtual Tabletop, launches on Steam. So I haven't looked at it yet. So, Aggressive Combustion, an independent game development studio, has announced the launch of its innovative virtual tabletop software, Conclave Virtual Tabletop. So, Conclave Virtual Tabletop emphasizes a streamlined gaming experience focusing on adventure and narrative rather than the complexities of statistics and character management. Recognizing that players often have their character sheets prepared, Conclave offers a set of tools that are intuitive and easy to use, allowing game masters and players to concentrate on the story and gameplay. Looks kind of neat. Go away, ad. So it looks like they're doing 3D minis on 2D maps. I'm intrigued. I'll have to see if I can take a look at this. But don't have a whole lot more on it. And without diving into it, won't have much more on it. Let's see. Osprey. They just launched Pressured. It's a cyberpunk RPG. So they are putting out more RPGs. Osprey has been doing, like, they did history books and like history miniature games and stuff over the years, but they're really doing more RPGs, which is awesome. I'm kind of excited. I don't know what engine it's using. Free League had on the 2nd released their Walking Dead game. So if you were at PAX Unplugged this weekend, you would have been able to get the Walking Dead RPG. And I wish I would have been in better shape, and I would have told my folks at the library to go by and get a copy. Free League's been awesome. Their American people really hook us up with games. And then, let's see. Hey, Samsung Watch. Star Wars RPG quietly returns to stores next month. So, this month. This is old news, but it's... So, Fantasy Flight, which is now Edge Studios, because Fantasy Flight got bought by Asmodee. Asmodee got bought by Embracer Group. Then Embracer Group spun off all the RPG stuff. It's still under Embracer Group, but it's now Edge Studios. So Asmodee does board games, and then Edge Studio does RPGs. So the Star Wars stuff using the Genesis system, there's the Rebel Alliance and Edge of the Empire, was it? Yeah, Edge of the Empire and Age of Rebellion. And then Force and Destiny. So these will be, you'll see these popping back up to stores this month and next month. So if you really like this system, well, it's now coming back. So apparently they've worked out all their stuff to be able to do the Star Wars game again. And then hopefully they'll start producing their own crazy dice again. Because that's my problem with the system, is it uses funky dice. Never a fan of specialty dice. Okay, we are going to look at some stuff that has been donated to the library. So we got a box in recently that I don't remember who it came from. It was like the day this all happened. So we got Pathfinder First Edition Bestiary, the GM Guide, and a core rulebook. Let's see. Monster Manual 3.5, DM 3.5, the FUB, the Player's Handbook 1, or 3.0, 3.5, and another 3.5. And then we actually get a lot of people that plays 3.5 in the library. And then the Realms of Cthulhu for use with Savage Worlds. So I love Savage Worlds, and so And this was licensed by Chaosium, so and if you like Savage Worlds, well, we got a Realms of Cthulhu for Savage Worlds. Then from 9th level games, we got their new Return to Dark Tower. Look at that. Shiny. A new evil has taken the Dark Tower. Will you rise to fight against the adversary and become the hero of the Four Kingdoms? Or, over the course of the campaign and quests and marches, you will fight fiendish monsters, raise allied armies, and unearth our ancient lore until you can marshal your forces to lay siege to the adversary and the Dark Tower itself. So this uses the polymorph system and compatible with mazes. And then with that, we got a GM screen. Now this GM screen is pretty cool because it's got the Dark Tower right there in it. So you got a little art, got a full page, almost full page. You got the cool cutout center. And this is really neat because it allows you to have like a full size screen, but you can still see the table. And then all the information on the inside is nice and big. So some GM screens, they just cram so much stuff into these that you're playing and you're like, oh, what is this? But I mean, look at this. Your info is like it's actually large enough to be usable at a glance, which is what a GM screen's for. You're not supposed to be staring deeply, intently. You're not reading the rules again. And then this is the tower. So there's cards in here. I don't know what the cards do. Well, they're for the game, of course. There's dice that you need for the polymorph system. Little bits so you can build this out. So what you end up doing is once you build it out, so you place this on top and then place that in there, and then there's a little cardboard piece that goes in here, and all your info's on it, and it becomes it's directly behind the chat window. Awesome. So it is a really cool dice tower that also has all the info. It has info like turn orders and in what different dice rolls and everything mean. So it's a dice tower that's, actually usable. And then we'll easily, package back down. This is easier with two eyes. And because you've got the jagged top, this slides on and protects everything. Got a nice little tower. And then the last thing we got in the last month is Trinity Continuum. Onyx Path ended up with a bunch of stuff from White Wolf. So White Wolf, towards the end, they had come out with their Trinity system, and it was going to be Aeon, Adventure, and Action. Was it? Adventure is more, Indiana Jones and mythology and magic and stuff. Then there was a superhero one, and then there was the sci-fi one, Aeon. Well, they brought out Aeon first. They got sued by MTV because their logo looked just like Aeon Flux. And so it was supposed to be their Trinity system, 3 different systems, all with A's. So they ended up rebranding Aeon as Trinity. And then, years later, Onyx Path is continuing that Trinity game. And then this is Trinity Continuum Adventure. So this is, don't try to pin my success. Let's see. Trinity Continuum Adventure is a game of pulp action and daring adventures. Over a decade ago, the explosion at a private science uh, private science debut created a ripple across the world. The year is now 1934, and the inspired, the people with extraordinary abilities, contend with the unnatural threats, explore strange wonders, and vie to shape the oncoming 21st century. Take on the role of a brave hero and embark on your next great adventure. So, Trinity Continuum Adventure. So, play in the 30s as a kind of a superhero. So that we didn't get a whole lot, but it is nice that we got some cool stuff in. Okay, let's for all the people that are viewing that don't want to see crowdfunding stuff because they are going to buy it all. Now's the time to step away. Okay, in Kickstarter, so our friends over at Salty Games, so they brought out New Edo last year, and really, New Edo is a really cool setting. Love the world. So it's not really cyberpunk, it's Tokyo in the future, but all the myth and so you have all the futuristic tech, but all the spirits and mythology are starting to come back in the world as well. And so the Salty Games made this. It has 10 days to go, so super cool. I actually got to sit down and he sent me the PDF to peruse. I gave some ideas. They made some changes, and it's 77 story hacks or plot hooks. So 77 stories in New Edo is a robust set of tools for making your life easier as a storyteller, including 77 plot hooks, 20 NPCs, and 30 detailed locations. And within those plot hooks, there's like cool equipment, and MacGuffins, stuff like that. And it's not just for like you can use these plot hooks for a lot of different games, but like all the stats and stuff are for New Edo. But in fact, he got some other people to look at it, and if you look down here, hey, I'm quoted. As I said, this is the type of supplement I love to get in the hands of GMs of all levels. You're not going to get just 77 adventures, but a million more. As I read through it, I thought of all kinds of new games to run with the library through the library. You'll keep going back to the 77 stories for a creative burst over and over again. And I actually stand by that because I read through and really enjoyed. There's some really cool story ideas in there. Hey, we got a bot. Let's see. It's a pain in the ass to moderate by myself. So I do suggest people check this out. Let's see. So $5 American, you can get a PDF copy of it. $14, you get the PDF of New Edo, which if you don't have it, it's a really awesome setting. The game is pretty cool as well. And then so for $14 you get the PDF of the 77 stories and the New Edo RPG. See, $22 gets you the PDF and digital print of, or PDF and a physical print of the 77 stories. $74 you can get, oh, why don't I know about that one? So the 77 stories New Edo book, and I don't know what this one is, and then also in PDF. What is? And kitchen table robot games, a soft cover PDF note that the great one does not include any limited edition copies in this book. Huh? I have not seen. I will have to ask him about the kitchen table robots. Table Talk, $222. Get you 4 copies of the original hardcover rulebook, a PDF, and the 77 stories, plus a deck of cards, and as many PDF licenses as you need. That's nice. And 20 card set for new Edo art cards. And for $740 American, this reward tier is for the most passionate fans of New Edo. You'll get all the rewards of the Great One tier, but that's not the point. Ayumi are the quite impetuous behind the world. You're funding human-created art, game time at tables, greater awareness of the system in the world, digital upgrades, and bonuses for every artist on the project. You can choose how or if you will be recognized in the book, and whether you want to impact balance or change. And you don't pay for shipping. Nice. And all the early birds are gone. This was actually pretty cool because he had a couple. He had a Founders edition that I really like how clean his Founders edition stuff is. Okay, what do we got next? From Steve Jackson Games. Love Steve Jackson Games. So this is the Fantasy Trip Bestiary and Foes 2. So monster lore and monster miniatures. So it's the book, the Bestiary 2, 192 page hardcover book. And Fantasy Trip is one of Steve Jackson's first games before he started Steve Jackson Games. And then this is the Bestiary to continue it out. So you get the cool little cards. But there's also, you get the STLs for like the giant rat. Look at these. They're so cool. Slimes. Ghouls. Crocodilians. So Foes 2 Fantasy Miniature STLs. Our very first STL project, Foes, arrived in early 2022 with a strong reception with the help of our original backers. Foes delivered 45 STL miniatures, including 2 different orc armies, a catacomb full of skeletons, and dreaded Long Larkin. Foes 2 is even more monsters and creatures to your 3D printer. This includes 50 unique sculpts, plus stretch goals. So 3 snakes, 6 gargoyles, 3 bears. Which one's the mama bear and the daddy bear? Let's see, 4 wolves, 10 ghouls, 8 crabmen. I like the crabmen. 4 giant rats, 12 slimes, bases, and bases. New improved version of our base bases, which you can use for numbering your figures or just indicating which side. Oh, okay. You can put little notes on it. It's a way to put notes underneath your minis. Orc skull on a post. 2 giant lizards. 2 ogre skeletons. Okay, so $1 gets you Fantasy Trip Melee PDF. 20 gets you 2 faux STLs. 40 gets you faux STL and Foes 2 STL and the Fantasy Trip PDF. $80 gets you the Fantasy Trip Bestiary, physical and PDF, plus the Fantasy Trip Melee, which is your combat rules and everything for playing. $100 gets you the STLs and all the Fantasy Trip stuff, physical and PDF. $120 gets you Fantasy Trip Bestiary, physical, PDF, Fantasy Trip in the Labyrinth, Fantasy Trip Melee, PDF, and Wizard, which is all the magic rules, which is a box. It's a small box. It's not huge. $200 gets you the Foes 2 STL, Fantasy Trip Bestiary Physical, Legacy Edition, and the Melee in PDF and the Bestiary in PDF. Oh. Right. love what Steve Jackson Games puts out. They put out a lot of really cool stuff. So $20 is all the STL those. $40 gets you the last group and this group. 80 gets you all the fantasy, the bestiary stuff. Then you get into more books and everything. See, Avnox, a system-neutral mega dungeon of forgotten history and folly. So they just kicked off from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So they've created 6 and backed 58. So I was looking through this, and it is a sizable dungeon. 250 room dungeon, table ready and referee friendly. So PDF copy is $20. Physical copy is only $35. Retailer pledge, and then that's it. That's your choices. Not a bad deal. But I was looking through this. It actually looks. I kind of dig big dungeons, and with a lot of people that are going back to older play styles, where you go into a dungeon and then at the end of the session you go back to town, and then just next session you go a little further into the dungeon. This is awesome for that. Let's see, Cellophane, a fairy tale post-apocalyptic RPG, coming out of Italy. 18 days to go. They got a long ways to go, but it looks looks kind of adorable. I'm not a giant fan of the art style, but it is cute, and this could be a lot of fun to play with people. And with the more cutesy animation, it could be a little more, friendly to people that don't want that seriousness. I mean, so $11 gets you the digital copy. $22 gets you a physical copy in Italian. Oh, shipping to Italy included. Okay, so you would have to pay your shipping. $33 gets you digital or physical copy with the shipping to UK. $51 is US shipping. And then you can go to $272, art submission and physical copy of the Cellophane Quick Start book, shipping in Europe and USA included. So, that's kind of cool. So they've given various areas so that they can get the shipping down right. Oh, this thing is driving me bonkers. So, Kurnathos, Into the Midnight Throne, a dark fantasy solo and co-op dungeon survival RPG. Single player and co-op. Out of Spain. Third created, 121 backed. I don't know, I want to see how many we've backed. I was looking through this earlier. So it's a OSR-esque game. It's not the same. You can see here the stats are different. But if you know OSR rules or like 3rd edition rules, you'll pick it up really quick. It is fairly straightforward and has cool charts and tables in it so you can play alone. Let's see, $17 gets you the PDF. $55 gets you, help me design a unique relic for the game, for its appearance to its magical properties. This will join the list of very unique items that players can find in the necropolis. 87, help design an overseer, the terrible abominations that rule the different sections of Caer Natalis. These are unique boss tier enemies that pose a huge threat to survivors. And Black Edition, conquer the necropolis with the power of this deluxe limited edition version. This is handbound faux leather tome that comes with a sturdy slipcase. Did this have a mock-up of that? I don't think so. Because I think what he's going to do is, I think he's bitten off a little more than he can chew, because he's sold 64 of those. I think they're going to do a print on demand and then bind them. Brain Duster, a mind-altering RPG adventure. Journey to the center of your mind in an art-heavy tabletop RPG compatible with most game systems. 39 days to go. First created, 8 backed. So this is it's a really slick-looking book from the bit that he's put together. So $8 gets you into the PDF, $12 gets you the soft cover plus PDF, $30 gets you hardcover plus PDF, $85 gets you the hardcover and a hex crawl poster, and their endless gratitude. Ooh, pardon me. The Psychonaut Circle gets you the hardcover, the PDF, and original ink drawing of a mind-bending creature. And I've got the hiccups all of a sudden. Which, none of those are bad levels. So, it is it's a really neat setting that you can basically jump into any game system. So, Trash Sexy Raccoon Mayhem RPG, a tabletop RPG of trash-eating sexy raccoons. So they've got 3 days to go. They've hit their mark. I didn't want to linger on this one too long. It's their first created, 0 back, but there's a weird trend of raccoon-based role-playing games right now. It's like the 4th or 5th one this year. So I just kind of wanted to point it out, and thought this was a interesting, weird trend. The people that make Knock, the Merry Mushmen, they're working on their 4th issue. I've got 3rd. But Knock is a really cool. It is done in the same style as Mark Borg, and just is a, whenever they feel like putting one together, magazine with all kinds of awesome stuff to add into stuff like Mark Borg. And if it's as good as the other ones, it'll be awesome. Yeah, I've got Knock 1. I don't have. Oh, I have the first one. I don't have I have missed number 2 and 3. I need to get number 2 and 3. Okay, Humble Bundle Solo RPG Library by Parts Per Million. So 42 items in this bundle for $18. It has 11 days to go. So this is Stars Without Number compatible, Alone in the Dark. This is an OSE solo game. So I mean, there's just all these are just solo games. If you solo games are awesome because you can hand them to people, and they get creative for a little while. They're great for getting ideas how to write new cool stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of great. I mean, there's just so much here, and for $18, it'll keep you busy for a while, and you can use them to get ideas to do bigger adventures and stories. Then they also have the 5th edition Mega Bundle, Gygax plus Kobold and Friends plus more, 73 items for $25. It ends in 4 days. So. Tome of Beast 3, Necropolis, Critical Roles, Tome of Heroes, Splinters of Fate, Character Sheet, Game Master's Journal, Splinters of Faith Creature Tracker, Splinters of Faith Location Wizard, Splinters of Faith Map Book, Splinters of Faith Virtual Handouts, Necropolis Virtual Tabletop Pack, that's awesome. Necropolis Handouts, Necropolis GM Screen, Dwarven Fiasco, The Search for Darwar's Temple, Rat King's Sewer, Lake of Dust, Lairs, Tome. I mean, there's just I could keep going. There is so much stuff here. And a lot of it, I mean, some of it you may never go through, but I guarantee you there is a ton here that you're gonna be like, oh, that City of Cats is actually a really, really cool book. Dungeon Tables, this is actually super awesome. I've gone through this. Just so much. Player's Guide to the Northlands. We just got a copy of this not too long ago for the library, and it's actually really cool. So much stuff. Okay, let's go to Bundle of Holding. So, we've got Blades in the Dark 2, the rulebook. Let's see, so Blades collection, $15. You get Blades in the Dark, good fun game. 4 Blades in the Dark decks, so characters, crews, deals, factions, and locations. Deck of cards that you can probably load them into a virtual VTT, or print them out and just glue them to cards. And then Heists in the Dark. Plan heists on the fly. And then if you go up to $30.10, you get all that plus Court of Blades, Mountain Home, a Torch in the Dark, a single-player forged RPG of righteous battle against the undead, and Cosmosaurs. And this is worth it just for that book. Dinosaurs protecting the galaxy from evil. It is awesome. Let's see, Torg. This ends in 1 hour. Torg is an awesome freaking setting created by West End Games in the late 90s or mid 90s. So $10, you get the Torg Eternity core rule. So Torg Eternity is the update to it. So this isn't the old Torg from West End Games. This is Torg from Mongoose, I think, is who put it out. These from Ulysses Spiel. Invaders from the other cosmos arrive on Earth seeking our possibility energy. The Reality Raiders and their endless minions, designed by Shane Savage World Hensley and others, and funded in a spectacular May 2017 Kickstarter. It was the year that I really wanted to get my handle on this when it first came out, because but that was the year we started the library, and they were like, okay, whoever, you go away. Torg Eternity updates the 1990 West End Games version and reimagines the cosmos that threaten our core Earth. That was 1990. I thought it was like 93. Let's see. So, you get the Torg Eternity core rules, Delphi Missions Rising Storm, Torg Character Journals, Torg Eternity Day 1, and Torg Eternity GM Screen and Archetypes. So, $10 gets you a bunch of Torg stuff. And then they got Torg Cosmos, Torg 2. So, for $18, Cyber Papacy Sourcebook, Cyber Papacy Unhallowed Data, the Orish Sourcebook, Orish, a trifling matter, and then you go in the bonus collection. So if you get all that plus the bonus stuff for $31.13. That's 6 Cyber Papacy supplements, Delphi Missions, GM Screen Archetypes, GM Pack, Map Packs 1, 2, and Digital Only set. The 6 Orish supplements, Delphi Missions, GM Screen and Archetypes, GM Map Pack, or GM Pack, Map Pack. So, then the Orish Torg and Torg or Treat, Orish Secret Societies, and Core Earth Magic. And less than an hour left on that one. Let's see. Sly Flourish Lazy Collection is $6. Sly Flourishes DM tips, fast, practical DM mastering advice. I've seen this cover somewhere. I know I've looked through that. The Lazy Dungeon Master. I have heard of this book. I have not looked through it. The Return of the Lazy DM and workbook. Then if you go up to $20.01, Runes of the Grendel Route, 10 Adventures in the Heart of a Rune-Filled Mountain, Fantastic Lairs, 23 Boss Battles, Sly Flourishes Fantastic Adventures, 10 Short Adventures from the Lazy DM, Sly Flourishes Fantastic Locations. It's like a monster manual, except for its locations. That's hilarious. Shadowrun 3rd Edition. I played a lot of 1st and 2nd, played a little 3rd. So, the Shadowrun 3rd Core Collection is $25. That gets you Shadowrun 3rd Edition, the first run, so 3 adventures that are really good at this is a great, like, more games need to do stuff like this. It's not just one starter adventure, it's 3 that really not only help players learn, but GMs learn. Oh man, that is so important. Shadowrun Companion 3rd Edition, Man and Machine Cyberware, Man or Monster, the Cannon Companion, so weapons, Magic in the Shadows, Matrix, Rigor 3 Revised, State of the Art 2063 and 2064, more gear, the SR3 Character Dossier, so a nice character sheet, the GM Scree, and Critters. And then if you go up to, oh, there's a whole bunch of this, $43-ish, you get all that, plus you get Sprawl Survivor Guide, New Seattle, Shadows of North America, Shadows of Asia, Paranormal Annals of Europe, Atazlan, Corporate Shadow Files, Corporate Download, Meet the New Boss, same as the old boss, Mr. Johnson's Little Black Book, Loose Alliances, 5 Shadowrun 3 Adventures, Brain Scan, Corporate Punishment, Renraku Shutdown, System Failure, Year of the Comet. That's actually a lot of stuff for $43, and then you got around Christmas time it goes out. Let's see. Sign Nominee Rulebooks. Stars Deluxe. So $13. You get the revised edition of Stars Without Number. Nice. Other Dust. Never heard of this. 1,000 Points of Night. Spears of the Dawn. African Blood and Splendor. I'm intrigued. Cities Without Number. Free. The free edition. The World is Neon and Dust. Then the bonus collection. So if you go up to $27, you get all that plus Worlds Without Number Deluxe, Wolves of the God, Scarlet Heroes, Silent Legions. That's Lovecraftian. Interesting. Bluebeard's Bride. The Core Rulebook of Supplements. Bridal Collection. So, Bluebeard's Bride's Rulebook. I know nothing about this game. Will you open the final door? Bluebeard's Bride, Lore, Mirrors, and Rooms. And 2 Bluebeard mini supplements. Booklet of Keepsakes and Tarot of Servants. I don't know anything about Bluebeard's Bride. The tabletop role-playing of fairy tale gothic horror from Magpie Games. In classic Bluebeard fairy tale, the young bride marries an ugly but powerful man with a blue beard. He invites her to explore the house. Interesting. And Cornucopia 2023. So, starting collection is $15. Let's see. Agents of Concordia. Traveling between the worlds in the 1960s, you never knew existed. Apollo 47, Technical Handbook, pretending to be an astronaut while nothing exciting is happening. I think they made a movie about that. Well, hello there, Alpha and Omega. You never heard of Bluebear's Bride? Neither have I. Casting the Runes, a cult gumshoe investigation in the world of M.R. James. Spectaculars. Create your own superheroic campaign, world superfast. And then in the bonus collection, you go up to $30.36. You get Into the Odd remastered. Free League is putting this out. They gave us a copy, and everybody that's checked it out loves it. Outgunned, cinematic action from the designers of Broken Compass. Ooh, oh yeah, this just finished on this literally just popped out on like 2 months ago. Finished on Kickstarter, and they've already got it in one of these. Nice. And Broken Compass, super awesome game. So Two Little Mice is a company out of Italy, and made it. Broken Compass, awesome game. The Outgun game uses the same system, and now Broken Compass was sold to CMON, Cool Mini or Not. So CMON will be putting out Broken Compass. See, Unbound. It can run anything as long as it fights, and all the best stories have fights. So there. That's funny. Worldwide Wrestling 2nd Edition. Oh my. Apocalypse Engine Kayfabe. Worldwide Heavyweight Championship. Oh my god, this is so. I love wrestling games. They're just so silly. So. Oh, thank you for Alpha Omega in the chat says, hate to cut this short, but con crash and worked hard today. Thank you again for having us, and hope to see you at PAX EU next year. So he came out and actually helped out the library at PAX Unplugged, where I couldn't be this past weekend. But so this is the last thing for the night, anyways. 9 days left on the cornucopia stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. Into the Odd, and I haven't seen Outgunned yet, but it's based upon their other system, and it should be good. So with that, thank you all for tuning in. I need to go get some rest. I got to get off my eye. That sounds like a weird thing to say. Massive headaches, and I have stitches in my eyeball. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope that everyone is having awesome holidays. And I hope everyone's having a better, last few months than I am. And until next time, I should see you guys tomorrow. And you know what? I'll be able to wear an eye patch for a pirate game and not be out of place. So, the library is now closed.